All right. Welcome to Yin. You have a blanket today. I'm going to sit on a blanket. If you can start sitting up on the blanket. And then I do have some props, block and a bolster. I don't know that we'll use the block today, but we may use the bolster. So if you have that, if not, you can use a pillow. All right, let's take a few moments and find a nice comfortable seat. Go ahead and close your eyes and just find everything beginning to relax. Maybe shift a little bit if you're had an uncomfortable day. I'm trying to find some nice, beautiful posture. Shoulders over the hips, ears over the shoulders. We'll close our lips and breathe in and out through our nose. So as we begin class today, we'll do our own chant and then we'll repeat our intention, do a little breath work, and then our postures. Let's chant the sound of Om together. Deep breath in. May I be free from fear and harm. May I be content as I am. May I be at peace with whatever comes. So just moving our hands a little bit. If you want to place one hand on the belly in the center and then one hand in the center of the chest. We'll do what we call a square breath for just a few minutes. So we're going to try for four breaths. And you can just imagine, inhale to the count of 4, exhale to the count of 4, inhale to the count of 4, exhale to the count of 4, kind of visualizing a square. At the end, then we'll just pause for just a moment before you begin the breath cycle again. And you can just do it on your own. If the count of 4 is too little or too much, you can adjust it as you need to. Beginning with the count of 4 should be comfortable for most people's breath. So again, inhaling and exhaling through the nose, we'll begin. And finishing that last round of breath cycle. And as you finish that last round of breath cycle, we'll release our hands, bring our feet to a Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. You can place blocks underneath your knees. You can also place a blanket or bolster underneath you so that you can relax on it if you'd like. But try to make yourself as comfortable as possible or relax the shoulders. We'll just start walking our hands out in front. If you can come down onto the forearms or bring them to a block or anything that makes the shoulders comfortable. Also, if your head is not touching a bolster or pillow, go ahead and tuck the chin. And then just take a few breaths to really settle in today. What is it that your body needs and adjustments to make yourself comfortable? You can continue to use the square breath if you'd like, or just let the breath be natural and comfortable without changing it. Since this is the first pose of the evening, just making some observations about how your body feels, where it feels tight, where it feels good, without judgment, just noticing. Nice and slow. Let's rise from this pose. Take a moment and stretch your legs out in front of you, releasing the hips and feet if you need to. So let's go ahead and take this right leg behind you, and we'll place the left foot right along the thigh there. So usually we do this pose in a big twist, and we may go there in a minute, but we're going to do it as a side stretch first. So in yin, they call it the deer pose. So you can place, if you want to, a bolster or a block over here by your left side. And if you do that, we're going to go to the side for a stretch. You may not need it. You just decide. Okay. All right. So I'll show you with the bolster first. So let's walk out with that left arm and just kind of stretch it out. And we can stay here on our side. We can come all the way down and rest ourselves over the bolster. So once we found a nice spot to rest our head, then we can take this free arm and go ahead and stretch it over the head. Maybe you can interlace both hands. If it doesn't work, you can just let the arm rest. Hopefully it's somewhere right around your ear and your head is resting comfortably. Not make any allowance so the head rests comfortably. And instead of rolling forward or closing off our chest, we're going to take that top shoulder and just roll back a little bit to see if we can open the chest a little bit as well as the side body. Good. So find some nice deep breaths and let's settle in. Take your time. Don't move the legs. Let's keep the legs in the same position, but bring yourself upright. I'm not going to use the bolster for the second part of the pose. We're just going to do a twist. So as we twist to the left, you just may want to stay in this more upright position. Or you can do what we've done numerous times and just bring yourself down as you twist around behind you. You can bring yourself onto a bolster if you'd like, or forearms can just come to the earth. So you want to feel a pretty good twist right in the waist. And you can rest your head on something or just tuck the chin slightly in towards the chest. So as well as the last pose, you felt a side body stretch. This one should be feeling more of a twist in right around the waist, from the rib cage to the waist, so it feels more like we're kind of squeezing those organs there, detoxing a little bit. Find a nice full breath. Maybe some longer exhalations on this pose since it is a twist. Very slowly start to unwind from this side. You can just go ahead and move to the other side. So we'll start with the side stretch. Using that bolster or prop if you needed to over here by your right hip. Good, and just begin to notice how you feel. So as we stretch to the side, do we need our bolster? We're feeling pretty good. Good. Take that top arm over the head. Beautiful. You know, if that doesn't feel good for your shoulder, your neck is not supported, you can always just keep this hand right behind the head, or if you want to place it on a block, just try to get the side stretch. So if you take the hand and you place it on the hip, you're not going to get the side stretch that you kind of want from the hip all the way through the armpit and through the fingertips. So give yourself some props and do whatever you need to find a nice side stretch. We'll roll that top shoulder back a little bit. If your head's comfortable, let's just begin to take some nice deep breaths. And slowly releasing that side stretch, we'll just bring our torso up. Begin the twist part of the pose, so twisting to your right. So we're feeling it in the waist again, and if it feels comfortable for you, you can just start to walk behind you and maybe eventually bring those elbows to a prop or to the mat. And again, if your head is not touching something, you can just tuck the chin in towards the chest, or you can use a pillow to rest your head on. So take that breath really deeply right into this waist. You aren't paying full attention to your breath by this point in class. Really make sure that that breath is as deep as it can be by now. And even your mind maybe is a little bit quieter because you keep this breath, beautiful focus. Take your time slowly unwinding. So before we come onto our belly for a little bit more hip stretch, we're just going to work on our shoulders just for a moment. So I'm sitting in hero pose today, which the feet are alongside my body, or you can place the heels underneath your sit bones. If that doesn't work, you can sit in whatever comfortable position that you want for your legs. I just want to show you the arms. So we're going to do actually the arms from cow face pose. So it's great for the shoulders today. We're going to take the arms out in front of us. Take that right arm underneath the left. We're going to cross at the elbows. Bringing the palms together or hands together if you can. If you can't quite reach anything, you can use a strap in between your hands. So let's draw the hands towards the nose and the elbows forward until you feel a little stretch in the upper back and shoulder area. See if you can soften the shoulders as you lift the elbows just a little bit more, squeezing the forearms. Neck stays neutral. You can close your eyes here, of course. And just breathe into the upper back muscles. They're like little wings protruding out to the sides, right? And so just see if you can feel that movement right there today. And your exhale, let's gently release these arms. So before we go to the other side, if you need to adjust your legs, just to make yourself comfortable. And then we'll begin with that left arm underneath. So same pose, just the other side. And soften the shoulders. Breathe into the chest and the upper back. Squeezing the forearms, elbows a little bit forward. Good. Deep breaths. Nice and slow. Let's unwind this side. I'm just going to come onto hands and knees to release everything. If you're comfortable doing a little bit of cat-cow, maybe even bringing the hands in the opposite direction if that last one kind of was strong on your wrists. Let's just take a few breaths here with this nice fluid movement, inhaling and exhaling. All right, our last pose before we finish is going to be our pigeon pose today. So we haven't done it in a while. So let's go ahead and start with that right leg forward. I'm going to bring my knee out to the edge of the mat. Bring my right foot out as much to a 90 degrees as you can. As we sink down into the pose, if we need to put some padding underneath our right butt to just even out our hips, that would be fabulous. You can do that. You can also put some padding underneath your head because we're going to come forward. So wiggle around in this pose until you can find that your hips are, your pelvis is even. So one hip's not higher than the other. Sometimes it takes a while to get there. I know in yin we don't talk about form too much, but in this pose, this front foot needs to be flexed, and really it's just to protect our knee. So whatever it is in space, if it's closer out towards your hand or closer towards the groin. So you should be feeling this stretch mostly on the right outer hip, but maybe even on the left inner groin would be also something you could feel, possibly the quadriceps, but mostly in that right outer hip. So let's take some really deep breaths. We're going to come down as deep as we can. If your head comes down to the mat, great. Or you can bring it onto a blanket, or you can use your head, your hands as a pillow. Remember, in yin, we want some discomfort. There's always going to be discomfort in the pose. We don't want it to be just relaxing. Discomfort is where the magic happens. So kind of wiggle around till you find that for yourself. And then just know that you're settling in to really start to release deep into that tissue. Take a nice deep breath in. We'll bring our upper body upright just a little bit. And let's come back to hands and knees. And you can continue a cat-cow movement, or if you want to, I'm just going to encourage a little hip movement. So making some circles here with hips. Please take it longer if you need a little bit more. If you're ready, we'll go to the other side. So left knee up. Creating space for this side. Again, kind of wiggling in until you find your pose. Putting any props underneath your left butt if you need to. I'm trying to get this low back and pelvis nice and even. Let's take a really nice long exhale together and just settle into this nice deep pose. Right, so you should come out of this pose. Let's just swing those legs out in front of us. We'll come down onto our back. Let's draw the knees in towards the chest. If you want to place a blanket underneath your head or over your body. But before we go into Shavasana, just one more little teeny thing. Just go ahead and take the knees in towards the chest, and I'm going to make some circles with these legs just to release any tension from the hips on that last pose and to make sure the low back feels good. And when you feel like you're ready to release for your final relaxation, go ahead and stretch those legs out. Maybe the arms stretch out to the side or over the head if you want to today. If you're a little chilly, make sure a blanket comes over you so the body stays warm and continues to work on all these deep tissue muscles that we worked on today. So let's just to take a moment and let's do 3 rounds of our square breath before we slide into final relaxation. So just 3 rounds, counting 4. If your mind feels like it needs to continue with this square breath in order to just keep relaxing, then please do. Otherwise, just let the breath relax and be comfortable and don't think about it. See if we can feel this beautiful, just releasing, relaxing energy as we find our deepest final pose, letting go of any last little bits of tension that we feel in the body. Relaxing those shoulders, relaxing the low back, letting any tension release from the belly. Simply bring our awareness back into the room, maybe gentle movements with the body. Let's also roll over to our right side for just a moment. The great writer Norman Vincent Peale said, "When you affirm big, believe big, pray big, big things happen." We are not practicing yoga to take the edge off. The asanas are not an ancient and time-tested alternative to Valium. We are practicing asana to realize our divinity, enact it in this lifetime, and share it with all beings. By dedicating our practice to this end, we are affirming big, believing big, praying big, and allowing big things to happen. I invite you to come up to join me as we bring our hands to our heart. One final Om today. Deep breath in. Namaste.